Okay, I wanted to talk about this album because it's one of my favorite music albums, and I was surprised when I found it got the most negative reviews of all the aphex albums. When it came out in 2001, it was very critical. It got critics bad reviews, and so I want to kind of explain why I like this album as a kind of retort to those critics. And I think the answer starts with the album titles. So if you open this up, here we've got a CD, and I've got another CD here. But if you look closely at the album titles, you'll see that they're all gibberish. And not just gibberish, but written in the hand of Richard James himself, which I think lies the key to what makes this album my favorite, because it seems to be the most personal of his albums. And what I mean by personal is that whereas the critics criticize this drukQs, I'm going to pronounce it drukQs, even though that's probably not the pronunciation. So the critics denounced it for being too long, incoherent, didn't stick to a particular theme, and unoriginal, which are all true. It is too long, it doesn't stick to a theme, and yes, it jumps from genre to genre, and it's not groundbreaking in any sense, but the reason it's my favorite is because it's the most personal, and that is true regardless of those criticisms. And so this album is riddled with genre changes and little segues and short tunes, like number 23, Father, is a very short piano piece, which sounds kind of out of key. But it's named Father because apparently Richard's father enjoyed it. Another piece, Lorna Derrick, is just a recording of a voice message recorded by Richard's parents on his birthday. And listening to that amongst all of the music on this album, it feels very personal, like I'm looking into the hard drive of somebody that I don't know very well, but looking into their personal items and seeing things that you would normally only see if you were very close friends with somebody. And that's what I like about this album. It's very sincere, and it's deeply personal. I don't know what else to say than personal. It's honest. You know? So I've talked about those two tracks, which are probably unremarkable to most people. but they're what make this album special to me. And of course, I can mention Avril 14th, which is a brilliant piano piece inspired probably by Eric Satie. And I could talk about Ward Alston, which is one of the most popular tracks, is kind of a drum and bass thingy with synths. And they're both, of course, amazing. They're part of what makes this album special, but it's not just really good songs, it's songs that aren't that good. They have vulnerability. And it's vulnerability that, it's the vulnerabilities in people that make us fall in love with them. And it's the vulnerabilities in this album that makes me fall in love with it as much as one can fall in love with an album. And that's about all I have to say.